everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Sassy Critic. I talk about film, television shows, and novels. So if that's your thing, hop on for the ride. And what a ride it is, because today we're going to be ranking Bridget Jones characters. We are talking about characters from all four films: Bridget Jones' Diary, Bridget Jones' Age of Reason, Bridget Jones' Baby, and of course the latest one to come out of the lot, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, which came out on Valentine's Day this year, 2025. Now, can I just say, I absolutely love Bridget Jones. Like, the franchise, I could not get enough of. I have watched the movie over and over and over again, and as soon as Mad About the Boy is available for streaming in South Africa, I will be watching that movie over and over and over again. But for now, let's rank these characters. I am so excited. Can I just say that I was planning this video out since Monday. It's Friday today, and I was like, yes, we are going to be doing it. But just a few things. I do have to say that if you are someone who loves film, television shows, and novels, or you love the discussion around those topics, definitely give myself a subscribe. Right? Once you have subscribed, be sure to turn on the notifications so that you don't miss a video. Also, if you are enjoying it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And of course, I would love to know your opinions down in the comments. What is your favorite Bridget Jones character? And who do you ship her with? Do you ship her with Mark Darcy, Daniel Cleaver, Mr. Walliker, or Rockstar? Let me know down in the comments. And I do just have to say, we are going into heavy spoiler territory. So if you are someone who has not seen any of these movies, please, you have been warned. If you don't mind the spoiler, then stick ahead. We'll be going ahead and ranking these characters, but I will be going into some spoiler territory. So you have been warned. Another thing that I do have to say is this is just my opinion. If you have a disagreement with me, you can go ahead and say it in the comments, obviously in a respectful manner. But yeah, I am excited for this one. I have put them up into different categories. So up on top we have Ding Dong. These are characters that I would see as near perfect, right? Like, I can't get enough of them. Like, I can't get enough of them. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and say, and we're gonna put them in Ding Dong category. Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. That is the second category. These are characters that I love, but I don't love enough to put them on Ding Dong level. These are characters that I love, but they have their flaws, and sometimes those qualities can annoy me just a little bit. But I still love them regardless, and they are going to be put up in this category. Next up, we have Turkey Curry Buffet. These are characters that I nor hate nor love. They are just perfectly in the middle. Next up, we have Oh Bugger. These are characters that I don't like. I don't necessarily hate them, but the negative attributes just show so much. I just have to put them in this category. And the last one is I Choose Not. These are characters that I cannot stand for the life of me. Like, at all. If you love these characters that I put down at the bottom, that's fine. I'm choosing not to. Alright. I also just have to say that I am currently reading Age of Reason, which is the second book in the book series. So I will be referencing the books. Not too much, but I will definitely be spoiling the films. But with that said, let's go ahead and rank the Bridget Jones characters. So first up, we have Perpetua. Perpetua, we see in Bridget Jones' Diary. She is Bridget's colleague, or rather slightly senior. I think with Perpetua, I don't think she means harm. I do think that the power gets to her head just a little bit. But I don't hate her, but I obviously do not love her. So I'm trying to think. At some point, she does ask Natasha when is she getting with Mark, and that does kind of peeve me off just a little bit. But I don't hate her, but I don't love her. I'm kind of debating whether I should put her in turkey curry buffet level or oh bugger. Hmm. You know what? She just made one statement that peeved me off. It's not her whole personality. But she did want to get Bridget in trouble in that one scene. She's she's meh. She just makes one or two comments that irritate me. So I'm gonna put her in a turkey curry buffet. Maybe I'll change my mind later down the line. Next up we have Tom. Tom I like. Tom is funny. I'm gonna put him at nice boys and cliffs like that. Okay, next up we have Shazza. I have to think about this one. Shazza is such a good friend to Bridget. Knowing that I've read the first book and I'm currently reading the second book, like Shazza is a genuinely good friend. In Age of Reason, though, and I'm referring to the film, um, she gives Bridget this gift, and it actually has some substance in the gift that she is not aware of. And when Bridget is finally reunited with her friends and family, she is genuinely sorry about it. I do think out of all of the friends in the film, Shazza gets like more focused on, whereas in the book we get a little bit more focused on the other friends, especially Magda, which we will get to. We will get to Magda because I have a thing about Magda. But I think for now, mm, you know what? She's kind of in between Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That and Ding Dong. If I'm being 100% honest, I do still love Shazza, like because she will defend you and she defends Bridget. So I'm gonna put her on top of Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. Next up, we have Bridget. Yeah, Bridget is going to Ding Dong levels. This is given. This is a given. Um, okay, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about Bridget in Bridget Jones. Like she is the titular character. So, Bridget, I love this character. I loved her throughout all four films. I think her journey as a woman throughout these films is spectacular. Um, Fun fact, Bridget and I have the same personality type. So I'm just saying, like, if you see Bridget, you're looking at me. I'm joking. I'm joking. But we do have the same personality type, which is rather interesting. A lot of her aspects is relatable. I still find that Bridget Jones is probably one of the most, if not the most, relatable rom-com character out there. I have yet to watch a movie where a character is so relatable. And what I like about Bridget is that she's not relatable because, like, oh, she's clumsy, and even though she is, but the reason why she's so relatable is because she has these flaws. She wants something good for herself. I love how she says literally in the beginning of Bridget Jones' Diary, she doesn't want to be with someone who's a commitment phobe, only for her to be with someone like Daniel because Daniel is a literal commitment phobe. Um, yeah, this is oh gosh, Bridget Jones is a gem. Love her, love her, love her. She's my number one character in this entire franchise, no doubt. Next up, we have Daniel Cleaver. This is difficult for me. This is difficult for me because I've watched Mad About the Boy, and spoiler warning about Mad About the Boy, which is the latest Bridget Jones movie. Daniel Cleaver. Okay, maybe I should talk about him like as he was in the beginning. So, for those of you who don't know, Daniel Cleaver is one of Bridget Jones' love interest. He is Bridget Jones' boss in the first film. In the second film, they work together as journalists when they go to Thailand and they almost get together for the night. Um, in Bridget Jones' Baby, he's reportedly uh, dead. And then in Bridget Jones Mad About the Boy, he's alive, and he ends up being like a father figure to Billy and Mabel, who are Bridget's children, right? For the first three films, or rather for the first two films, Daniel Cleaver is highly manipulative. I will say though, when I rewatched Edge of Reason, I was falling a bit for Daniel Cleaver. I didn't fall for him in the first movie, but in the second movie, the way that he was talking to Bridget and everything, like I was falling for it. Like, and he's highly manipulative, and then until we see what happens where it's like, nope, he was hiring someone for the night and Bridget was right there, it's like, oh yeah, no, he's still a sleazeball. He's a ladies' man. Daniel is a ladies' man. We tend to forget that if you watch this franchise, like he he ended up um sleeping with Mark Darcy's wife, which caused Mark Darcy to have a divorce. So I kind of want to put him at Oh Bugger. He does kind of have a redemption arc in the last film. Like they do give him good qualities in the last film where it's like, oh, he's kind of a good father figure to the kids. But yeah, no, I am someone who remembers things, and this man, he's not good. I think if it wasn't for Mad About the Boy, I would have put him in I Choose Not. But I'm gonna put Daniel Cleaver at Obaga. Next up, we have Chloe. Chloe was introduced in Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. She is the nanny to Billy and Mabel. And what I will say about her is she's really sweet, she's really organized, and she does a lot for the kids. But she doesn't get a lot of screen time. And I wish if they had to maybe introduce this character in Bridget Jones' Baby, maybe as the nanny to Shaz's kids or Jude's kids, that would have been interesting. But I think for the sake of this, I am going to put her in Turkey Curry Buffet. I'm putting her above Perpetua, though. She deserves to be above Perpetua. Alright. In fact, for Perpetua, I'm putting her at Obaga. Yeah, I just changed my mind because I can do that. And next up, I think this is Jude. Jude, I am. Oh gosh. Should I put her by Turkey Curry Buffet? Or Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That? I mean, I have Shazza and Tom by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. It only makes sense for Jude to go to Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. There's a particular scene where Bridget went to work, and then she went to go hang out with her friends, and she talks to her friends about what happened at work, and then Jude literally goes, "I'd fire you, Bridge." So, which is not supportive. I get it. It's one line. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. She does make Bridget the godmother to her baby in Bridget Jones' Baby, which I think is really sweet of her. In Bridget Jones' Age of Reason, she ends up like getting married to Vile Richard, or rather, she's engaged to Vile Richard, and Shazza and Bridget have to beg her to not get married to Vile Richard. If you don't know who Vile Richard is, Vile Richard, and I call him Vile Richard, not just Richard, is the person that Jude dates in the first movie. We don't see his face. Bridget just calls him Vile Richard. And we know about him when Jude is crying in the bathroom and she calls on Bridget to depend on her. And to like cry and say like, oh, it's Vile Richard and he doesn't want to commit. I feel like Val Richard and Daniel Cleaver are probably in the same category. Can't commit to women. I'm talking about in the films. But I don't know. I don't know. Specifically when it comes to Jude, I will say she is still a good friend. Again, she's a better friend in the books from what I've seen. And in the movie, Bridget does say that Jude is her best friend. You know what? I have to think because it feels like if you look at the Bridget Jones movies, Shazza and Tom are like the main friends. Jude is also the main friend, but she doesn't get that much talk. She doesn't speak much. I will say in one particular scene in Bridget Jones' Diary when Bridget has birthday dinner, and then it's literally Jude that gets up to the door and lets them know who's here as a warning. But I don't know. I just don't love her enough to put her by Nice Boys Don't Kiss like that. So I'm gonna put her on top of Turkey Curry Buffet. Yeah, we're gonna skip these three for now. We're gonna skip these three for now. Next up we have Miranda. Miranda is going up on Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That, and I would say, do I love her more than Shazza? I have to think because I don't know about her book counterpart. I know we're talking about just the movies. I'm gonna put her up by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. Love Miranda. She was introduced in Bridget Jones' Baby, and she gets some screen time in Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. In Mad About the Boy, she hooks Bridget up on Tinder, which is quite funny. I love Miranda. She's that fun friend that is also there for you. But at first, you can see that she and Bridget Jones are more like they have like more of a working friendship, and they work together, that sort of thing. Huh. You know, I'm gonna put her just above Shazza, only because of the incident of in Age of Reason where Shazza accidentally gives Bridget the gift. I know it's not her fault. I know it's not her fault, but I'm gonna do that. Next up, we have Bridget's boss. I can't remember this woman's name. I watched Bridget Jones' Baby just the other day. I just know her as Bridget Jones' boss and Bridget Jones' Baby. Yeah, we're gonna put her on I Choose Not. This woman, she calls the news old because she talks about like these disasters and stuff. And I get it, she's a funny character. And maybe I'll change my mind and put her by Oh Bugger, but for now we're gonna put her by I Choose Not. As in I choose not to talk, as in I choose not to interact with this character, talk to this character. No. The fact that she doesn't want to talk about hard news, she just wants to do like she wants to talk about her own thing, and I get it. She in the movie represents the younger generation, but still, no. It's a no from me. Next, we have the Doctor from Bridget Jones' Baby. Hilarious. Not enough screen time in my opinion, but she's really funny, and she gives Bridget advice. So yeah, we're gonna put her in by Turkey Curry Buffet. Hmm. I feel like there should be another category in this. But anyway, I do like her. It's just that she's such a side character in Baby and Mad About the Boy. So I feel like Turkey Curry Buffet is kind of like the perfect lining for her. We're gonna get back to the other four love interests. Oh my gosh, the fact that there's four love interests in across three movies is something else. Alright, we have Uncle Jeffrey, the guy that creeps up upon Bridget. Yeah, we're gonna put into I Choose Not because he insists on Bridget calling him Uncle Jeffrey, and he gropes her. So yeah. Next we have Simon from Age of Reason. He's the guy that has the substances that he puts in Shazza's gift that Shazza accidentally gives to Bridget. Yeah, I choose not. Next up, we have Natasha, or Natasha, as some people may pronounce her name. So, she's very rude to Bridget, and you'd think I'd put her by I choose not, but I'm not going to do that. She talks down to Bridget. She thinks she has a shot at getting Mark. She doesn't. Right? She does not have a chance at getting with Mark in the first movie. And yeah, she's kind of annoying. I get it that she's just someone who likes Mark, and she has the right to have feelings for him because he's single at that point of the film. But this girl tries too hard. She tries so hard to get with Mark. And yeah, I'm putting her by oh bugger. I don't like her. Yeah, I just don't like her, but I don't hate her. Yeah. Okay, this guy. Don't ask me what his name is. I can't remember. Oh no, he's not by. This guy, honestly, he's very unlikable, very manipulative. I felt like he was kind of like. Okay, you can't say he's the Daniel Cleaver, but for Bridget Jones' mother. But yeah, I'm gonna put him by I Choose Not. In the book, this character is not British. He's actually Portuguese. And in Bridget Jones' Diary, him and Bridget's mother, they end up going through a whole thing where they end up scamming people and they try to leave the UK and they almost get arrested. And then Mark comes along and ends up advocating for Bridget's mother, which is such an interesting plot that they did not put in the movie. But yeah, anyway. We're gonna put that. Next up we have Rebecca Gillies. Rebecca Gillies I do not hate. I don't love. In Age of Reason in the movie, there's such a major difference between Rebecca in the movie versus Rebecca in the book. So in Bridget Jones' Age of Reason, Rebecca, it looks from Bridget's perspective that Rebecca is going after Mark, and she's always there, and that she's this very good looking woman that's always there when Mark is working, whenever Bridget rocks up, and so Bridget thinks there's something going on between Mark and Rebecca. In reality, Bridget actually, well, Rebecca has a major crush on Bridget, and there's a kiss, but Bridget lets her down easy. So I don't think she was trying to do any harm. I think she was just trying to do her job while at the same time crushing on her colleague's girlfriend. So I'm gonna put her by Turkey Curry Buffet. Like honestly, I won't put her higher than the Doctor. Like I don't hate her. I can't hate her. Um, Next we have the driver from Bridget Jones' Baby. He doesn't get a lot of lines, but the mere fact that he gets, or rather tries to help Bridget get to the hospital, we are gonna put him by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. Oh gosh. Okay. Next up, we are gonna this couple, Cosmo, and I can't remember the wife's name, but that's Cosmo, right? And Cosmo's wife is pregnant, and at some point of Bridget Jones' Diary, this is during a dinner where she gets invited, and everybody else are couples, right? Like everybody's kind of paired up with someone, and Cosmo is there with his wife, and his wife is pregnant, and there's this particular scene in the movie where Cosmo like says, "You better hurry up, old girl. Times are ticking." Something like that. And like he's wondering like why Bridget is still single in her 30s, and he proceeds to tap on his wife's pregnant belly. And I don't know, that just made me all sorts of uncomfortable. Like I know he doesn't mean harm, but as a single person on this planet, I would just like to say, if I had to be a pregnant woman and my partner goes ahead and just decides, hey, when are you gonna get together with someone, and then proceeds to pat on my pregnant belly, like I'd feel so uncomfortable. I would. Even in the movie, his wife looks at him like, what the heck are you doing? Oh gosh. Shemak, I felt so bad for Bridget because it's like she's literally She's not the only single person there, but she's the only person that's not paired up with someone. So Mark and Natasha are at this dinner, but they're not dating. So I'm gonna put Cosmo and his wife by extension. I'm gonna put just for that line alone. I can't hate the guy. I can't hate the guy, but I don't love him. Okay, okay. We are gonna put him at the end of Turkey Curry Buffet. And I like Chloe more than I like Rebecca. I just realized that. We're gonna do that. Sorry, Rebecca. Okay, I'm leaving the four love interests last. Next we have the woman that Daniel Cleaver was dating from New York that he cheats on Bridget with, who Bridget calls an American stick insect. Okay. Bridget is hilarious, but okay. The American stick insect, because I can't remember her name. I'm sorry. I hate insulting. I hate insulting these people. I know they're just characters from movies, but I just can't. She has a very she has two scenes all together, and one of them is this particular scene. Yeah, you can see she's being covered up by a I don't know, a file. I'm gonna put her by. You know what? She still shows off at the office. I do not like this character, but I don't hate her. I'm putting her at the top. No, she's worse than Perpetua. I'll say that. So, is she worse than Daniel Cleaver? I would say no. You know what? Daniel Cleaver deserves to be at the end of Obaga. um, yeah, no, I still don't like Perpetua. Anyway, we're gonna leave it at that. Next, we have. Okay, so I couldn't get a picture of. I couldn't get a picture of the kids, like individually. So we have Billy and Mabel. They only appear. Okay, Billy appears at the end of Bridget Jones' Baby. He's the one that's born, and I was a bit questioning. I was questioning it a bit because in Bridget Jones' Baby they call him William Darcy, but in the book it's Billy Darcy. And then I realized that Billy is short for William. So, oops, my bad. Otherwise, I would have gone on a rant about that. But Billy and Mabel, I still find them cute and adorable. It's very clear that between the two kids, Billy gets a lot more character development. He clearly misses his dad. And yeah, I mean, he clearly misses Mark. Because, Mark's his father and everything. But yeah, they're not the they're not the most well behaved kids. I wouldn't say that Nice Boys own kids like that. I'm gonna put them by Turkey Curry Buffet, but I'm putting them above the Doctor. I'm putting them above the Doctor. I'm sorry. I still find them adorable. Next, we have this guy that calls Bridget Brenda, calls her that multiple times, and he stares at her in a creepy way. I am going to put him by. You know what? He doesn't get many lines and he forces things upon Bridget. I'm gonna put him by O'Bugger. You know what? He barely gets any character development. We're gonna put him by I Choose Not. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Next we have Richard. Oh my goodness. Okay, Richard. Richard constantly gives hints to Bridget that he wants to sleep with her. In the book, he already has someone. So in Bridget Jones' Age of Reason, Richard has a love interest. In fact, there's a woman that he's kind of dating. Ironically, the name of that love interest is also named Saskia, which I found wild. Like, I had to look over the book. I was just like, what did he just say? Did he just say Saskia? I was like, oh my gosh, this character in Age of Reason called Saskia. She only appears for like one chapter. But anyway, back to Richard. Richard is Bridget Jones' boss. He first appears in Bridget Jones' Diary, and he hints to Bridget that he wants to sleep with her. So for that hint alone, he does not deserve to go to Turkey Curry Buffet. That's weird, Richard. That's very weird. He goes to Obaga, but he goes to be on the top of Obaga. He tries so hard in Bridget Jones' Baby to be like the young employees. So yeah, he gets to be by Obaga. Next we have Una. Una is one of those characters where if she had more screen time, I'm pretty sure I would somehow end up putting her by Obaga. But between Una and her and Bridget's mother, Una is just the better character, in my opinion. I am going to put her by Turkey Curry Buffet, but I mean she doesn't irritate me more than Cosmo. I'm putting her above Cosmo. Alright, next we have Magda. We are going to skip Magda for now. We're going to go on to Bridget Jones' mother. Her name is, I think, Paula, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. Paula is a racist. She's really racist throughout the films. She's even more racist in the books. Oh gosh, we have to talk about it. So, in the books, in Bridget Jones' Diary, the book, she ends up dating a Portuguese man, and I have said before that she ends up like partaking in the scam, but she thinks it's legit and doing it to people around her. In Bridget Jones' Age of Reason, I kid you not, she plans on going to Kenya with Una. The two of them go to Kenya. They bring back this man named Wellington, and they make comments about it. Not to mention that as soon as she comes back to the UK, she keeps on saying Akuna Matata every single time she sees Bridget. And she keeps on urging Bridget to say Jumbo. So book Paula would probably go to I Choose Not. Movie Paula, I would say she comes around to Bridget near the end of Bridget Jones' Baby, I would say. But I don't know. She's still a really racist character. Like when she talks about Mark's wife, who is Japanese, she says, and I quote, "Oh, she's Japanese, a cruel race," and that's really racist. She's very racist as a person. Not to mention she leaves Bridget's father. The more I talk about this character, the more I dislike her. So we are going to put her at the top of I Choose Not. Right? So we're gonna do that. Next we have Bridget Jones' father. Now you'd think maybe I put him by I Choose Not, but he's a really great character. He cares for Bridget. You can't say that about Paula. He gets to be in Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. He just deserves it. In fact, do I love him more than Tom? That's the question. I kind of do love him more than Tom. He's very caring. And him and Bridget have a very nice bond. In the book, it's more fleshed out. But yeah, I'm putting him under Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. Next up, we have Magda. We're going to do Magda before we do the rest of the love interests. I love Magda in the books. Magda in Bridget Jones' Diary has a whole subplot. She is also part of the friend group of Shazza, Jude, and Tom. But for some reason in the movies, she's kind of her own entity, which is weird. But she and Bridget have a very close friendship that is more fleshed out in the books. In the books, it's very clear that Bridget will call Magda and Magda will call Bridget, and they have that kind of bond with each other. Magda is seen as being the more mature person in the friend group because she's already married to Jeremy and the two of them have kids. So in Bridget Jones' Diary, they only have the one child, but in Bridget Jones' Age of Reason, They have 2 kids, and she is fleshed out more in Age of Reason, the book. In the film, Magda does not get a lot of screen time. She gets one scene where Bridget goes to Magda and Jeremy's house for that dinner, and she does not contribute much. And that's it. We don't get input from her at all, which I hate, because when you read the book, then it's like, oh, she's a really cool character, and I like the friendship between Bridget Jones and Magda, but we don't get that in the film. Not to mention, Magda knows Jude, Tom, and Shazza, because they all a group of friends, and Magda actually was at Bridget's birthday dinner in Bridget Jones' Diary, the book. But unfortunately, we don't get that in the movie. So it is unfortunate that I'm only really gonna have to do this based off of the film character, Magda. So let's continue talking about Magda from the movie. So as I said in Bridget Jones' Diary, Magda, she, invites Bridget to a dinner where all these couples are at, and it's very clear that Magda is friends with all of these couples. But in Age of Reason, um, Magda is married to Jeremy still, and Jeremy works with Mark Darcy, and there's this dinner, and the most character development that we get of her is that Magda was proposed to at the at this this ball where all of these lawyers and barristers go to. Um, I was a bit confused, not gonna lie, when I rewatched Edge of Reason because they swap out the actresses. So I was like, wait, who is this person? And then I was like, oh, that's Magda. So I was just like so weird about it. She is going to be in Turkey Curry Buffet, and it breaks my heart that I'm gonna have to put her down in Turkey Curry Buffet. But if this was book characters, book Magda would be in Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. She would probably be in between Shazza and Miranda. But unfortunately, we are just talking about the film. Right, let's do the love interest because why not? First up, we are going to put Patrick Dempsey's character. I'm trying to think of his name. I forgot Patrick Dempsey's character's name in this movie, and I watched the movie last week. Anyway, so Patrick Dempsey, he plays a mathematician. Oh yeah, he plays Jack Quant, the American. And him and Bridget meet at a music festival, and he's kind of like this matchmaker sort of guy. And the two of them, they hook up at the music festival for one night. Bridget thinks that he's standing her up the next morning, and so she leaves. But yeah, so we do know that the plot of Bridget Jones' Baby, there's a possibility that it could be Jack's child. What I do know that from the books, and again, this is major spoiler, apparently in Bridget Jones' Baby, Jack isn't a character. Apparently, one of Bridget's possible baby daddies, it's either Mark Darcy or, and I kid you not, Daniel Cleaver. There could have been an entire movie where Daniel Cleaver could have been the other dad. Okay, I'm just saying. But instead, we were blessed with Patrick Dempsey's character, Jack Quant. He is a bit condescending to Mark, which I don't know if that is just deja vu. Not deja vu, like karma, because, Mark kind of had the same attitude towards Bridget. But he is very supportive for a guy that only knew her for literally one night. Like, he's like, yes, I'm going to support you and stuff, but when it comes to Mark, he's very competitive with him. And when you watch Bridget Jones' Baby and you hear the things that he says, and it's like, okay, yeah, it makes sense if this had to be Daniel Cleaver. Like, some of the things that he says, it's kind of like, wait, why would you say that? But it's Patrick Dempsey. And back in the day when I first watched Bridget Jones' Baby, like I had a massive crush on Patrick Dempsey because of Grey's Anatomy. I was watching Grey's Anatomy at the time, and I was catching up on the series. And obviously, Patrick Dempsey plays McDreamy in Grey's Anatomy. But Bridget Jones' Baby was the very first Bridget Jones film that I got to watch, because the other films came out in 2001 and 2004. So this was like the first Bridget Jones movie that I got to see, and I watched it with my mother. So I feel like the two of us kind of bonded over this film. But back to Jack Quant, I am gonna put him in. Ah, I can't. No, I like him. I like him. I don't dislike him, and I like him more than Turkey Curry Buffet. So I'm gonna put him by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. He's literally only in one movie. I'm putting him. Yeah, I'm gonna put him. Let's move Bridget Jones' father. I'm sorry, it's Jack Quant. He's good looking, and even though he is condescending, he has true intentions. Like he did lie to Mark and say that he was quote unquote not dressed for the occasion, if you get my drift. Which you would think maybe I would have to put him by Turkey Curry Buffet, even by O'Bugger. But he's played by Patrick Dempsey. I can't deal. I can't deal. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Next up, we're gonna leave Mark for last. We're gonna do Scott Walliker. The actor that plays Scott Walliker, bless his heart. Bless his heart. He's such a good looking man. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a good looking person. He's a good looking person. Right? I have standards, and I'm pretty sure it's the accent that won me over. Back to Scott. So Scott is the head teacher at Billy and Mabel's school. He is a science teacher. Him and Bridget have this debate in Mad About the Boy in front of the rest of the class, which I guess we can see as flirty banter, but it's in front of kids, so I don't know. I'm gonna put him by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That, but I don't know if I like him more than Jack. Do I like him more than Jack? Do I like him more than Jack? That is the question. Yeah, we're gonna say I like him more than Jack. I like him more than Jack. Nope, I do not like him more than Jack. I do not. Who is better between the two? Because the thing about Scott Walliker is that he insults Bridget for a lot of the film, just like Mark. But he is good for her. Okay, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave him by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Next up, we have Rockster. I'm sorry, what kind of name is Rockster? When I watched the movie for the first time, I was literally like, this is a name? Sorry if your name is in fact Rockster. It's just that in terms of the film movies, in terms of the names in the movies, it's like you have all of these names and then you have Rockster. He's really sweet. I mean, he's only 29 years old. He plays Bridget Jones' love interest. He's played by Leo Woodall, so that doesn't hurt. I am going to put Leo Woodall. I mean, Rockster. Okay, so here's a part of the movie and that's really realistic that I actually commend the film for. So in Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, him and Bridget, they end up matching on Tinder. They end up talking a lot. They go on a date. They spend several nights together. Like, it seems like they have a lot of chemistry. Then after this one event, he kind of just ghosts her. Like, and it puts Bridget back into this old feeling of, what the heck is he doing? Like, why didn't he reply to my messages? And she ends up messaging him more. I watched this in the cinema again with my mother, which was a great bonding moment for the both of us. But even me, like when I was watching this movie, I was literally saying, like whispering, because I didn't want to distract anybody. But I was literally like, don't text him back. Don't text him. Just don't. He, because she texted him several times and there's no reply. I would be like, girl, don't text him. Don't send him another message. He is actively ignoring you. You don't, he does not deserve a woman that is as great as you. I hated the fact that he did that. And then when he came back all of a sudden, and then he was like, oh, I got scared and I was thinking about our ages. Apparently, in the book, they flesh it out better in more detail. But in the film, it's like he says, I was scared, but I love you and I really want to do this with you. But it's like, boy, it's too late. If he really wanted to be in a long-term relationship with Bridget, if he was really scared, he should have sent a message. And I get it, it's realistic for that not to happen. I don't know, maybe this is just striking a nerve. Like, I don't hate the guy, I'm just irritated at the fact that he chose not to say, hey, I need some space from you to figure out if we can be a couple or not. What is so difficult of doing that? Like, I'm genuinely not happy at this moment. Ah! You know what? I've only seen Mad About the Boy once. How much you want to bet I'm going to rewatch this movie and I'm going to end up wanting to change my mind. But I think for now, I'm trying to think. I mean, he's a young guy, and whoever he ends up with is going to be great for him. And I think he's a lot better than Daniel Cleaver, so I don't want to put him at the end of O'Bugger, but he's not good enough for Turkey Curry Buffet. Okay. We are going to. Why won't this let me? We are going to put him in O'Bugger, but he's definitely better than Perpetua. He's definitely better than Richard. I hate the fact that he's played by Leo Woodall because I really like Leo Woodall, especially in The White Lotus, but I think for my mental sanity, I'm gonna. The more I think about this character, I get the more irritated. But I'm like, he's played. He's a 29-year-old, and he ends up saying "I love you" to Bridget, which even me, like when he said that in the movie, I was like, a part of me was like, "Girl, get it. Just, just say yes. Just say you forgive him. Say you forgive him. The two of you will ride into the sunset." But I think we both know that it wouldn't have worked out either way. Like, even if Bridget had to say yes, some point down the line they would have broken up. So I'm putting him at the top of O'Bugger. He's not good enough for but he's not good enough for Turkey Curry Buffet just yet. I think when I actually end up speaking about this movie in detail, maybe I'll move him up a bit. But no, he gets O'Bugger for now. That's his punishment. Okay, next up, and oh, this is the last one. We have Mark Darcy. Before we get to Mark Darcy, I just want to say I'm moving Miranda up to ding dong levels. Okay, I can't lie to myself. I love this character very much. Even Shazza. As I'm thinking back, I'm like, no, Shazza gets ding dong levels. Um, with Mark, because the reason why I'm putting Miranda and Shazza up there is because now we have to talk about Mark. Okay. Mark and Bridget meet when he was 8 and she was 4. She was apparently playing in his paddling pool. The two of them are neighbors. And they kind of like in the same circle, like their families are in the same circle because every time there's a family event, he's there. Like at the turkey curry buffet, he's there, and at the what is it? At the oh, I'm trying to think. Oh yes, at that event that Una was hosting, his parents were there. He was there with Natasha. But anyway, he was there. They keep on bumping into each other throughout the first film, and then in Age of Reason, they start dating. But in Age of Reason, it's very clear that Bridget and Mark like each other. They like the idea of each other. And I feel like, to a certain extent, I feel like both of them, Bridget more so, that they just kind of settled for each other. So I think for Mark, like I love Mark, especially in the first two films, because even in the second film when there's issues, like he goes, like he shows up for Bridget. I would say in the books he speaks a lot more. Like he's not as timid and tense when he speaks to Bridget. Also, fun fact, he's a Newcastle fan in Edge of Reason because there's a scene in the book where Mark, where Bridget calls Mark, and they went to have a conversation, and he's watching the soccer match, and it's Newcastle, and he's busy talking to the screen. I would say book Mark Darcy is better than film Mark Darcy. I will definitely say that. I think book Mark Darcy I would definitely put by ding dong levels, or at least I would put them at the very top of Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. But yeah, like Mark Darcy, the man who stole my heart, played by Colin Firth. This man, chef's kiss. Back to Mark. Okay, maybe I should just do it simply based off of how he is in the three movies. So in the first film, he kind of talks down to Bridget, but then it's revealed that he actually really likes her. He's just terrible at communication, which makes no sense because he's one of the top barristers in the country. Sure. Do I ship Mark and Bridget in the first movie? Absolutely yes. Do I ship Mark and Bridget in Age of Reason? Yes, but a bit less. I think with Age of Reason, it clearly can show like what happens after Happily Ever After. But in Age of Reason, they do get engaged, which is nice, which is very sweet. I love that. We love that for them. But like I said, it feels like in the beginning of Age of Reason, it feels like they kind of like the idea of each other as opposed to genuinely loving each other. So I know in Age of Reason, the movie, Mark Darcy declares his love by knocking on her door and speaking through the speaker, where a bunch of like uh, teen boys are like down the street can hear what he's saying. In the book, he says "I love you" on like when they're on that vacation at the resort. Bridget rocks up uninvited, and when she's there, he says "I love you," which is so cute. Like even I was reading it and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I was kicking and squealing. I was so happy when he said that. Like he's not saying that to me, he's saying that to Bridget, right? And after that, like literally just after that chapter, we see Bridget is just like so happy over the fact that Mark said "I love you." So bookmark would be by Ding Dong. Film mark, I think I'm going to put by Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. Do I ship Mark and Bridget in Edge of Reason? Yes, but a bit less. Do I ship Mark and Bridget in Bridget Jones' Baby? Oh gosh. Between Mark and Jack, I'd probably say no, she needs to be with Jack. Because Jack is more practical. Jack is there for Bridget more than Mark. If it was bookmark, bookmark, sorry. If it was bookmark versus book, okay, I can't say anything about book Jack because book Jack apparently don't exist. But if it was Bookmark against Film Jack, I'd probably say Mark. But right now we're talking about Film Mark, and I don't know if I would ship Mark with Bridget in Bridget Jones' Baby if I had to be 100% honest. I love the wedding scene. But I do have to say, he comes around at the end of Bridget Jones' Baby when there's the scene where Bridget is giving birth and Mark is like, you're gonna love your baby, and Bridget goes and says something along the lines of, what if it's not yours? And he says, I'm going to love him just as much. And I think that's really sweet. He's there to support her, and I think that was a crucial scene. So I'm putting him above Jack. I'm gonna put him above Jack in Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That. So yeah, there we go. There is the ranking. So at the very bottom, my least favorite character of all time. I think I'm going to swap out this guy with Simon. I mean, Simon and Uncle Jeffrey. These people are at the bottom, right? So we have Simon at the very bottom as my least favorite character. Totally hate. And Jeffrey's a creep. So we're going to put Jeffrey at the bottom. Honestly, just think of it as Simon and Jeff just being on the same line and then heading up to Paula's boyfriend from the first film. Alright, so in I Choose Not, we have Paula, Bridget's boss, Daniel's boss, Paula's boyfriend, Simon and Jeff, or Jeffrey. In Oh Bugger, we have from bottom to the top, we have Daniel Cleaver, Natasha, the quote-unquote American stick insect, Perpetua, Richard, and Rockstar. I feel bad for putting Daniel at the bottom, but again, he's very manipulative. He did save Bridget in that one scene in Age of Reason, so maybe he deserves to be... Yeah, let's do that. Right, in Turkey Curry Buffet, from the bottom, we have Cosmo and his wife, Una, Rebecca, Magda, Chloe, the doctor, Billy and Mabel, and Jude. In Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That, we got the driver from the restaurant who's helping Bridget out. We have Tom. We have Bridget's father, Scott Walliker, and then we have Jack. And then on top of Nice Boys Don't Kiss Like That, we have Colin First, Mark Darcy. And then by Ding Dong, at the very bottom, we have Shazza, Miranda, and Bridget. I think that kind of sums up my top 3 characters from this movie. It's, in terms of the women, it's definitely Bridget, Miranda, and Shazza. And then I guess if we have to say who are my favorite male characters, it would definitely be Mark and Jack. Mark, Jack, and Scott Walliker. Scott and Jack would probably be on the same level, and then Mark would just be above them, in my opinion. Alright, but thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this. I had a ton of fun, and I hope you did too. Who is your favorite Bridget Jones character? I would love to know down in the comments. How would you have rated them differently? And who would you have, shipped Bridget Jones with? I would love to know down in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video so far, please leave a like and comment your opinions down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I do post as often as I can, and I do upload more on YouTube Shorts, but at this point in time I am trying to upload your longer form videos just so that you guys can really see my opinions on things. I'm having a ton of fun ranking these characters, which is really cool. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for coming with me on this journey, and I really appreciate it. But with that said, I will see you in the next one. Bye.